What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of ShotaCooks. Today we are in H.Wu's kitchen and we're going to be doing some sushi. And as that goes, we're going to be doing a sushi content and we're going to show you a little, we're going to talk a little bit behind the scenes of what it's like to create content today with my good friend Carrot. Take it away.
Thanks, Shota. All right, everyone, I'm excited to dive into the behind the scenes of how this awesome content comes together. So let's start with a fun question. What inspired you both to come up with today's sushi theme, and how did you decide on the menu?
I just got egg in my eye.
Nice, that's excellent. I think we came up with, number one, we just started talking about what do we want to do. We will always like to do something fun. And then after we were talking about doing a concept, H.Wu came up with an idea of doing something that's a little bit like POV husband. So that was the original concept idea that turned into doing a little sushi course for y'all today.
Yeah.
That sounds like such a fun evolution of an idea, and I love how it turned into this sushi course. I'm sure everyone's going to love seeing how it all comes together.
I agree. What's another good question you have for us?
All right, how about this one? Can you share a bit about the prep work that goes into filming a sushi video like this? What do you do before you even start rolling the camera?
I think first thing we did was we talked about what we're gonna do so we know what ingredients we need to get. And then you took some time to kind of organize a shot list, what we're gonna shoot, what we're gonna talk about, and we get in and we start prepping. Right? That's about it.
I think there's a lot of planning that's required for shooting content, shooting cooking videos especially. When I first started, I used to wing things and it took way too long. I was filming until like 4 a.m. at night sometimes. But a little planning goes a long way. I think in both food content, cooking videos, in the restaurant industry, actually in everything.
And life.
And life. You plan your life?
I wing it.
I think that balance between planning and winging it definitely keeps things interesting. It's great to see how you both bring your own style to the process.
I was being sarcastic. I think one thing I actually do now more than anything is I come up with the title. I realize coming up with a title helps me kind of focus what I want to shoot, what I want to talk about a little bit more.
That's such a great approach. Having a clear title definitely sets the direction and keeps everything focused. It's awesome that you found a method that really works for you.
Thank you.
Carrot is so nice.
Carrot is so nice.
Yeah.
What's another great question you have for us? Nice person, Carrot. Nice ChatGPT person, Carrot.
You guys are too kind. All right, here's another question for you. When it comes to editing your videos, what does that process look like, and how do you decide what makes the final cut?
I think it's different, right, per person on that one. Like one thing I started doing with my videos is I actually kind of script my entire portrait shot out of what I'm gonna say, and then I put golden shots over it. That's how I do it now. But I think it depends. Do you have like a specific style that you do?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people people have ASMR cooking styles, people have instructional, people have comedic skits, people do, there's a wide variety of styles, chef.
There is. Some people dance.
Yeah, some people dance. Some people don't even cook. Some people put 100 slices of cheese together and eat it.
Fry it and eat it?
Yeah. Some people buy 100 pizzas and give it away. I don't know. There's like...
And that's true, right? I think that's one of those things when you say content creator, especially even if you just say food content creator, it can really mean anything.
Yeah. I think...
Absolutely.
Oh, go ahead, Carrot. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No worries at all. It's always fun hearing your thoughts. There's definitely so much variety and creativity in the food content world, and it's awesome to see how everyone brings their own unique flavor to it.
I agree. What's another good question for us, my friend?
All right, here's another one for you. What advice would you give to someone who's just starting out with creating food content and might be feeling a little overwhelmed by all the possibilities?
You know what?
Don't do it. Okay.
I was gonna say I'm gonna give this one to H just because I learned a lot of my content creating from H. Matt is another person that taught me a lot, and you know, for me, I feel like I just try to copy and paste other people's work that inspires me as much as possible personally. How about yourself?
I think, just take it with a grain of salt. This is just my opinion. I think if your content is as close to what you actually do in real life, it comes off as more honest and people can really see that. Do you also want a Deba, or do you cool with that?
I'm good with this.
So for example, in my life, I was learning how to cook. I started staging in restaurants, and all my content has been really just about what I do in my life. In essence, it's all just one massive vlog.
Yeah.
That's really it. That's all it is.
I think that's great advice, right? Be authentic to yourself so it's something that you can continue.
Yeah. In terms of finding a style, if you're starting off, what do you like? Throw a couple things out there. If you like cooking, if you like yapping, if you like talking about hiking, traveling, I don't know what it is. You just throw out a bunch of stuff, throw out a bunch of feelers into the atmosphere. And then whatever gets some feedback and some response, look at that response, be like, do I like this? Do I not like this? Do I want to follow this, pursue this? And then you just kind of keep going. That's my opinion though. So.
And I think the other part is get ready to put work in, because it's a lot of work that I think people don't recognize.
Yeah. Does this need to be chilled?
Yeah. Yes, please.
I didn't season it.
I'll season it. Actually, you can just leave it. I'll season it in a second.
Carrot,
That's
what's
real-
next?
Gotcha. Let's keep it rolling. How about you tell us about one of your most memorable moments while filming? Maybe a funny blooper or a really cool success story that stands out to you both?
I would say I think one of my success stories that I like to say about content creating is because of the world of the internet, the amount of friends and people I have been able to network and meet has been, I would say, my biggest success within this industry. I always think about it too, like content creating, I feel like it really started during COVID. So a lot of people who worked individually, started and they all worked on their own. And I think I've come to realize that it's probably one of the most collaborative industries that I've been able to be part of.
That's such a great point. The connections and friendships you build through content creation are definitely one of the best parts. It really is amazing how collaborative and supportive the community can be.
I agree. What's another good question you got for us? You're doing great with your questions today, by the way, Carrot. A+.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying them. All right, here's another one for you. What's one piece of equipment or tool that you absolutely can't live without when you're filming your content?
Filming content. I mean, you need your camera.
You need a camera, you need a phone. Depending on what you're going for, you might want to invest in a mic. Maybe a light. Lighting really makes a big difference. I think, I don't know, there's only so much you can do in post editing. Like, if the lighting was not good and it wasn't in focus, it's kind of lost. And you need a good friend to support you while you do it.
This guy's a good friend I have.
He definitely sounds like an awesome friend to have. It's always great to have that support and good company while you're creating. It makes the whole process so much more fun and rewarding.
You know, Carrot, I just want to tell you, I appreciate how supportive you are.
Oh, that means a lot. I'm always here to support you and keep things fun and engaging. It's a blast getting to chat with you.
Same. Let's maybe ask one or two more questions.
Sounds perfect. All right, here's one. What's one dish or recipe that you're both really excited to share in the future? Something that's on your list that you can't wait to film?
I'll go first real quickly.
Do it.
I I tend to learn different aspects of cooking in like phases. Like I'll have a duck phase, I'll have a fish phase, I'll have a ice cream phase. My current phase is kakigori, which is Japanese shaved ice, and I'm just excited to really share the different ways you can think about. You can even think about ice.
I like that. That's a great one.
Absolutely. Kakigori is such a fun and creative dessert, and I'm sure everyone will love seeing the different variations you come up with. It definitely sounds like a delicious project.
I agree. And I think for me, what I would like to start sharing is, I really, my goal has always been convey Japanese culture through food in a way it hasn't been introduced over here. And there's so many beautiful, delicious food items that are in Japanese cuisine. And the biggest comment that I get from people is Japanese food is intimidating. It's scary to kind of get into. It seems hard. So I am leaning into showcasing more fun ways that you can try to cook Japanese food at home.
I love that mission. Making Japanese cuisine feel more approachable and fun for everyone is such a fantastic goal, and I'm sure people will really appreciate that.
Thank you. All right, let's do one more question.
All right, let's make it a good one. What has been the most rewarding part of your content creation journey so far? Something that really stands out and makes it all worthwhile.
This dude.
This guy.
We just did the same thing, by the way.
Well, you answered it earlier, but it is the friendships. It's the friends made along the way, you know? I don't think, as someone who is relatively young in this industry, someone who didn't work in restaurants prior, and having met a lot of people who are my heroes, and sometimes they say never meet your heroes. Some of them suck. Some of them are freaking amazing. Like this guy right here.
Aw, are you saying that because we're on camera right now?
Possibly.
Possibly.
No, but it's true. It's just the people you meet. Really.
Yeah. And I think that kind of goes with anything, right? Not just content creating. I think, you can make money. You can make as much money as you can. There's no end to it. I always think it's really about who you are on the journey with. That's what makes it count.
Absolutely. It's all about the connections and the shared experiences along the way. It really does make the journey so much more meaningful and rewarding.
Well, I think that's a good last question. And on that note, Ish, look at the camera. Look at the camera. Thank you for coming to another episode of ShotaCooks. And until next time.
Ciao.
Ciao, 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 ciao.